winning krata no eya na efa baby eye very good efa baby enye ye wo advantage and what disadvantage. The advantage of it is say wow wo kromi ha winning krata no advantage a woman in say wo yire wo ho ye adwuma wo pesika gu ho because akohwibra wo ni bi wo sonson ho okrakra wo ho obi a owo kromi ha other countries minim me wo United Kingdom so wo kromi ha aha sam na me make so wo kromi ha na winning krata age said bi obi a oni krata ba oni on sen ni boafo e bia winning krata onye adwuma but so wo winning krata na wo ye adwuma wo do obi krata na ye adwuma so wa ankasa and wa pekwa bi so e na wo ye adwuma obi a oni krata no owo sika esen yenya ye won krata okromia ebinom because winning krata atade bi wo a wonto empabo bi wo a wonto part bi wo a wonko eye bi wo a wonko ekromi ha wo won krata obi wo a wose me eye bi a mekobi a no me pamontoma me tompaboa obi wo a wo osime mpe repeat obi wo a every weekend obekwa eye obekwa party o to wakojika o to petrol gu kemu utua rotas utua insurance busumi ne besono estimation of usika was spending no ne bro de wa gain no eso obi o won krata wo because e bia de o won krata no cancel amane dan enti dan kakora wotua no is not much. It's not much. Obo also won krata aban support no but opeso show off especially mema no enti ono nko a ne yire nka ho ne manka ho na ebi akwaje 1 bedroom flat for myself because opeso show off and I was me person me feel comfortable but obi a woni krata no okwaje ni singing room bi no hye chicken and chips or baby from an opaco menumre okoto shaki no ato kotodwe wo boboma bebre na wato akoko chicken but obi a ono wan krata no obeto adwene obeto kobi oye nkwan a Ghana nkwan no ope Ghana aduane no ope ompa abrofo aduane Ghana aduane so no ubeye shopping awie no na wo keka ko be 50 pounds ba 50 pounds no ubetimi dey chicken stew enkwan kotodwe enkwan shaki enkwan 50 pounds no ubenye nuane be 5 ewum e de esibo enti obia ono oni krata no oba oyire ne ho ekra ne ho ebuo sika no sa enema omo a omo be kromi a omo ni krata no ana wo kroma na wo ni krata utimi esave sika but obi a wo won krata no adwuma bi wo ho nso so a onye adwuma bi wo ho a onye enti da bia memi na obi hia me ka kire wo se wo ni krata eye opportunity ba bi ma yire wo ho na ye adwuma yire wo ho ne save sika because ubenya nkrata obeya akwadworo wonim so wankwa adwuma beje aban sika adwuma bi wo ho a wonye enti yire wo ho ne pesika wo yire wo ho na wo pesika na waye bi wo di bia ye nkrata wasa unyanya nkrata no yire wo ho na ye adwuma save it wo save sika na memfa ma wo bi nto ho ma wo save sika na emfa ma wo bi ento ho ma wo emfa ma wo bi nto ho ma wo unless say wanya wo bi a woni na ye nkrata enye sa sister brother wa si wo sika bi account wo Ghana obetimi e bi foreign account for wo sika kutum because udu sika komo obi okromi ya so onfanto ma wa sika na ye bonsam enyini no sika na ekonanim no wan share the problem obeba obi timi du sika enunti me abandonment campaign wudi mechi na wutie me a ubenya baby papa de wo na yesi enunti na me platform so ye friend abusuani da so enti wo ba so a maame clear as maame cha na wa share na wa free obi. Oh, was it true? But this is my story before. Yes. Enti wo ba me program so a woni abandonment campaign encounter na wa share me mitimi ko ekodidwa obetimi hia me no atwia me shopping ka e de ama me oso wanti abana because of you ene look at me wodi mechi obeto nan wodi mechi ne papa bebe wa barabu because ubenya wisdom pa enti mesra wo ka me ho a share ne free obi ne ka chiro bi se ena no peye ne lawyer atama se lawyer Frank de open krata wo krumi ha ekwan be na befa so abenya krata Monday no na me chiri manchiri manie there is so many ways a ekrumi ha wo ba hase ya wo befa so abenya krata ekwan papa so in genuine way fa kwan papa so ne faje won krata ebini ne se either say awo wan kasa wo be wo ase wo ba ase bema wan kasa wo be wo ase wo ba ase bema wa wo biological eba wan kasa wo be wo na se both parents na mo wo ye no ekwan ya be fa so abenya nkrata e wo kromi ha e na me kirew ansa na mejai e de ama eye lawyer Frank Maso obaso amejai e de ama no ekwan a woni nkrata na wo hwe me amepa chew bomode na fe lawyer Frank me de ne number beto to screen so sesia woni nkrata wo kromi ha number 1 ekwan a be fa so a wo benya nkrata eye se ada se wo be wo se wo enipa mienu na ewo nye nipa baako enti se woni wonyem ana wo ware ekromi ha by law UK law se wo hia wo bi a wo ye British okura British passport okura indefinite leave to remain okura 2.5 years untimi ne nware wo kromi ha lawyers na omo exam lawyers no mu binom omo nka no kora nkyere mu because of omusika wo mo pe enti on ka no kora nkyere wo say wo be kromi ha na woni nkrata wo de 6 months visa ne baaye wo de visited visa 6 months wo de any kind of visa bi a wo de baaye se sa visa no visited visa untimi mfa nware e wo kromi ha untimi mfa visited visa enware e wo kromi ha unless se wo kura student visa kura se untimi mfa nware wo kromi ha se wo kura skill worker visa ubetimi de aware wo kura charity visa ubetimi de charity visa aware e wo kromi ha mana yeye but most of the lawyers no enka no kura nkyere mo lawyers no mu binomo no omo selfish interest omo sika wo mo pe agye enti wo mo be gisika no no maka akere wo se wo hia wo bi wa ha wo betimi aware se wo kura visited visa wo betimi aware oboa because what you kotum na wo ye refuse wa waje ni sika wie mfa ne ho no wo future ehia because efikesie mu ho no any letter bi a wo de be ko asem bi a wo betwero de akofikesie mu ho no aka obi a wo kura 2.5 years obi a wo kura British passport obi a wo kura indefinite leave to remain untimi ne nware wo kromi ha mane nyi unless say e bi anipa ne ntimi mfa plane enko Ghana e bi a mo na mo be ware no de wo kura nkrata ene wo a wo kura nkrata no either sebaako e wo critical condition e yare ana say ontimi for some reason ontimi mfa plane ontimi ntina plane mu enko Ghana ana say e bi a nipa na wo ba be ware no hello lawyer Debbie me San Francisco e bia enipa na wo be ware no de won krankrata no okọ Ghana waye wanted okọ Ghana ebia ye beche no enti for that matter no one ne ware a enye apart from that no obi a wokura British passport obi a wokura indefinite leave to remain okura 2.5 years British law ekere say I just would go fie Ghana and wako ware na mom se eba ewo mu a eba ewo aware ni mu a ewo hia so beko Ghana se eba ewo aware ni mu a tie mi o enkogina ba bi nkoka se abnes campaign say wo ye British eni entimi nware obi okurum ha eno de yes is true we kura kogina ba bi kan eye no kore me did the abundance campaign. I am not a lawyer, but I have a knowledge about law. Dear minim no lawyer be oha wonim. But me pamocho me mentana baby feel for mama will be nisika. If I want to do it for you, I will do it freely, but I am not allowed. And until I made the lawyers at na home. Enti se wo Britain ni ehia no ka so be warewa. Onti me warewo Emma ni nye I just would do ko fie Ghana Emma woko ware odo ko Ghana so a possibility say wo untimi mabiom no eye 50-50 possibility say odo woko Ghana wontumi mabiom no eye 50-50 eye 50-50 ba wo share a good lawyer ne de obeba like lawyer Frank odo beba. But se eba ewo aware nim ehu hia so beko Ghana se eba wo aware nim na se eba no ekura enkrata mo betimi aware ewa ha aware ne de obeware o obetimi aye engagement obetimi aye wedding ewo kromi ha na emom ntimi nya application tie mpacho wo betumi aware ayaye fropen wo betimi ay engagement kakraka na emom untimi nya application ko jenkrata na emom se eba awo ewom na akora ni kura nkrata mo betimi aware asan ajenkrata ewa ha ewa abra wonko Ghana because eba ewom and the two another way abefa so abenyan krata se wo siki asylum Ghana siki asylum because Ghana is a peaceful country enti wo siki asylum o Ghana yes lawyer me hu wo siki asylum na wo de Ghana siki asylum either say political asylum see e ba beto abai no di president atemu a ye pe wacho why you wanted and now say we lesbian we gay because I say Ghana kura de matie minim Ghana mra ba de matie ne say Ghana obi ye gay kura na ye wadan for kura yetimechew what is this obi ye gay and obi ye lesbian na ne ya dan for kura yetimechew enti aha ubetimi e yusu lesbian or gay e de true and now say bia other part of Ghana yes circumcise ema which is a miramu okromi ha no enti other say bia why you wanted wo krom ye pese circumcise so ye twa sabi wakoso yakuma no esoro ni free ho eno ubetimi agina so lawyer pacho betimi aben no camera na ba wo so kakra America bi e de san fa bra fom okọ America won efe pa sika ne yatum hey abnes kimpedi the lawyers no udi wa wo bedi ye matum lawyer bi ko Ghana na lawyer ni fie swimming pool na lawyer yi frɛ me ma me frɛ poma o ho te say ba me mere ho te say lawyer yi ko Ghana na o de swimming pool mu no ye say ye fie ni e wanam se lawyer yatum pay ne yatum oba ya yatum o swimming pool kakraka o fie dia yatum ye ko yiste me lawyer fo obi atu kwan me nko amentu kwan omutu obi a wotu kwan ba ye bia matu pay mu yes who was stepchild who betimi agina was stepchild no so e de agenkrata woni lawyer Frank entwetwem komo enti ekwan a wo a woni nkrata wo be fa so me pacho wo ba share video no tap it first flight go lawyer Frank say we ya aware say omo de chartered flight ko Nigeria ne Ghana akoyi nkofo agu ho mo ni nkrata first flight ko enti me pacho frɛ lawyer woni nkrata wo say lawyer wo de atro bibi to so never ko how can I bring my child from Ghana wo won nkrata wo betimi the number ana as a skill worker then if you team an pay say as a skill worker wo betumi ede oba every Ghana ede aba Anita number please number me pacho lawyer and number nie and enyame na me late lawyer Frank ene ye late because ufra America ba ye time on esesa ye ni America time on esesa. I have a skill worker visa. Oh, any lawyer Frank is the best. But who was skill worker so now wo pese wodi oba e free Ghana and anybody dia Mr. Friend lawyer Frank. Lawyer Frank number is 079. But Montreal to so mame. 079 021 99 091 and not in a private number. What about EU citizen EU citizen holder can you married in UK? Nenka me babeka e hono. Nenka me babeka e ho. Me pamocho construction mesra untimi en chro nneema nto so e wo so emfama me pacho delete it mesra wa delete wo pese o ye advert wo so a frame na woni me enkasa wada woroma because scammers adoso abrochire for ya boy ya scam ya che enti mesra mun delete akwasi mun delete ne nam de wo chro wo so no enfem free so emame me pacho akini maya de lawyer number na wo so no lawyer Frank personal number enti mo betimi atro mame mpini ento so akini so lawyer Frank papa wow okay mapini ne number no Auntie Abena, I can't find Mary again. Mary. Okay. All right. Yo. Lawyer Abba Intino. Yem koma ye be de ne mrebe ma ye beko ye ekwan ya obefa so a wo benya won krata no eso. Ekwan a obefa so a wo benya won krata no eso ye beko eno eso se ekwan be mo nya sade a next week no ye be nyame adoma this week na na be di eno ho enkomo because eno no ho ehia yiyu aware wo ye yiyu ni a wontime nware obi a wo kromi ha ansa na meja ama lawyer no ma mo busebusa mepa chaw wo ye yiyu ni a wo ye yiyu ni a wontime nware obi a wo kromi ha obi ni nkrata before no ena netesa lawyer bia wo be ka kire wo se yi uni ebetimi adoptew yi uni ebetimi awarew ewo kromi ha wedding wo betimi aye engagement wo betimi aye ba wontimi nya application enfantum unless say eba ewom se we ye wo stepchild na sa akra no wo parental rule ewa akra ne life mu a ubetimi agina yi uni no wo ba enye wo woni nkrata no wa woni nkrata ne de wo ba wo mu a wo ye ma wa wo won krata no se wo ba say ye wo stepchild say ye wo biological child ehu hia so be ko Ghana ubetumi to ni lawyer Frank entena say entwetwe eye enkomo lawyer good morning me pa cho what to say lawyer Frank na wa bodwene wa kokamu yom ana wa daya na lawyer unmute yourself mami
But short minka.
Me too on lawyer. Na what to say? What I wa bodwe na.
So I may trust in your yado.
Yen to aso enye ye. We anyima no enye ye. Ana America na asesa wa bodwe ni nyina. E na wakoye wutit. Just on why fe. I'm telling you. Who look so kikim.
Thank you.
And our white and so fatal.
Thank you. So
Frank, position yourself. Remember, thank you, Biawa. And the casa ding. What I said. And may ye thank you, that's all fair. And America or no coy and lie be a P.O. Hana. Oh, lie, no.
That's it.
Hey, I said, be a people say lawyer, be I was no comment. Lawyer Frank is no comment. Lawyer Frank, I had the Ubana be no comment here. Yenko, and one is a big dinner comment to Coroner Soa. Say, oh, your lawyer, so we'll call court to me, Buswasama. Obeka, my lord, say, my lord, no comment.
If I don't have anything to say about it, then I'll rest my case on that. So,
oh, why a fair?
That's it.
What I say to why if I may busa one can a jabi wedge bitiase. Oh, my mere or do jamming, my show ye. And I make trust of why a fair. While Bodgenis was some way you do. In cabem, as a what die. Would it in swire fair, chess a wire fair. In short, no. Some Americans say Americans so yes, and you're many in every hole. And you're taking one. I had a sow, ye band be straight a bafo. Azari, ye man metna hanya lawyer for ya okwa woman muna lawyer je pempe we am crash. Enti aha oba e ya busuani da so releasing pressure, any releasing tension. Mo better lawyer nka what I say mo better nka question onyi anu nti na me ma volume no emba ye no. Lawyer number please again. Oh, yeah, they are too so. Mama me sanfa lawyer number name rebium na yenko. Lawyer me pacho position yourself. Oh, babe chetie for ni adofo. Answer no me de wo number ma or mo answer ne akoso. Lawyer Frank ene se wo ha me so me how. Ene wo ha me so me how. Yenko ye nim. Baby e gina de gina. What ya say? Aha. Ewurade hira wa. Na watamfo ni mu gu ase a. Mo mu se ewurade hira. Because obi wa ade ebechi no lawyer eka obi nko no nenka enroy ade echi yi was enroy die wan sorry ade echi obi benya krampa lawyer no adwuma afiri wonsa obi wo wa na metie bra bi na bra na yeso wawu ento mo yusu ni video a wokasa ye no mo de totototo Facebook ni YouTube o say obi wo wa ade echi no ofre wa hello na ho ye osian enye se wo pe wa asem no wo hese ne ho sibiti o wo hese de wo koye na nadwo no a manifestia e bia no wawu e bia na wo ya ne ntinko ofre wo no madwuma sei o na wusu ofra cheki enti lawyer se wo ba program so na wo maame abene skin pay mi busa wo se lawyer ho te sen obi a wutie mi bia wo frɛ program so na mi busa asa ho te sen wo sei me woye urade ado me woye ewura na urade hira me matamfo no omobre bigo lawyer obu wa ohu ine ya mahye no oda obenya nka ma mi wuye no kra no aye janka no aye mobo what ya say dozi aha enti lawyer Frank uba na lawyer ohun aye fe osinyame na ehira me na ahyiwo widina nyami na shira minyum to 079 lawyer number no 079 021 99091 lawyer Frank number lawyer me pacho wonchie tie for ne adofo e ma ye nko edumedi no manyi me
mama chem ma ha se ene de ma from grad na sinabutie yen Mascot lawyer Frank and me am ladies can pay a share has say you share no ma aye NJ and Como and some air cost United Kingdom immigration word and ya dituja and and they said the die no ya the betuja be chechim na ya said the AC cost only and a more was say you to said a bear or who baby I'll be Gina and I say over to no ye na uncle Gina baby bonny. Into major ama so mammy, na baby or the other fan matwasom, medasi.
T-shirt in the shemino. Afei na wodu afidie no ato ha Mascot solicitors and asabre ye no mo eba betwetwe komo every Wednesday bia mo slot wo pen lawyer kuku dem lawyer ekromi ha ye bo mu din wo aban mu a na wo bia atena so mo wo good track recorder Mascot omo ka ho bi efri se ekromi ha sa ye di udin kura beto bas ho no sika wo betwia no ba wono de GP surgery ni din da ho free of charge GP surgery lawyer din da ho free of charge me pa cho wanjia kapre because of nejuma papa oye enti o pese okofa wo yere ba o pese okofa okunu ba ekromi ha pese wo ye nkrata omo ye migration omo ye litigation omo ye wills improve it omo family law se wo pese ukoshe wo ba wo kromi ha na bia wa regaya ba pese okoshe wo ba child arrangement eno omo ye divorce omo enso so eka ho naturalization o pese wo naturalize it to become a British omo anasa wa wo ba wo kromi ha akra na nya 10 years o pese wo je British book ma akra no enye automatic was say we registration na oje enkrata edema wo ba no British passport e ma ba no enne ye di nkomo ye nkomo a ye di no enne no eye meli me pamocho lawyer kasa ye no ma ni volume na kosoro nti mo hold your mame mom tap it up so na mo share because enkomo a ye bedie no enkofo bebre go through stress ko amanie mu ye ka ni twi especially mu akuntunkuni ekata mo ho no muntie me edru sankomo we bi so a na ye me de because why mu a enkuntunkuni ene kata mo ho no kuntunkuni ena mo de afura wo aware mu no ye nyina ye ni mu se ekromi ha emra ekire se ene ye kasa about spouse ye kasa ba awarefo ye nyina ye ni mu se kromi ha se wo ware wo kromi ha se wo yire se wo kunu ene kofa wo ba wo kromi ha anase wo hie wo kunu no wo kromi ha se bia yiyu aware na waware wo kromi ha ana Britain ni akofa waba yiyu ni akofa waba se ekromi ha ya ene mahia ene maware mo ware ye no ba ku ni nkrata ena ba ku age nkrata edi ama ba ku example say bia Kofi aware ama Kofi ekura enkrata ama ni nkrata but both sex ni nyina na meka oba betimi akofa ni kunaba bema betimi akofa na yiraba enti se enam ba koso na ba ko nya nkrata wo ye limited wo ni nkrata no wo ye limited wo dependi wo de wo nkrata no eso why because de wo nkrata no ena age wo de watene kromi ha se wo ware yiyu aware a ye ma wo 5 years together. The difference is yema wo 5 years ebom o ware yiyu ni a yiyu for before no muntua home office fee na aware na fo na aware na de yiyu aware na ni je wom yiyu aware na nkwa wom yiyu aware no na ede the man here then say you don't spend much before na wutua about 65 pounds or so for home office and na wutua for yiyu aware omuntua home office fee ba wo ware Britannia ne boode you de no yema wo 5 years together wo ware Britannia yema wo 2.5 years and after wo 2.5 years no na wako renew ama na ye 5 years wo ware Britannia ware our really have to sustain until 5 years. It shouldn't have to be gap any kwanse mu ja ware no wo ja ware no and na se 5 years no so ya wa woni nkrata no onkrata no asai wo ware yi uni a 3 years na ware no sustaining for 3 years a wotimi retain wo right onkrata no ense ba Britain aware ne de ye buwa wotimi sa aware ye bu abuses wom harassment wom domestic violence wom enso so no usuro se mijaya ware na monhye video no mfre wo bio ye hwie gubi so because of ojaya ware a ne nkrata bese ya bo wo bia no so ama ne se atu sister ana na o se atu o se ye kaka sister abena ye kaka oboa enye kaka ebro ena ya bu ni kuromi ha emra kire se kuromi ha ye mfa ye nsanka oba ye mfa ye nsanka bema enso so no oba bese atimi hwe bema asum na bema hwene mu firi moja oba bese atimi tetentesuo egu bema so sabi oba bese akwantuo mu nsam de me ba ya che na meme ndamo betinsem oba bese atimi yi na se moja menkase enye menkase woni wukunu tia bema ne moa ewo so oboa in a genuine way ekwan paso bia wayi wonuama agugo bema ekosini de obefa no asi bia wo yare oba bema timi fa wonuama because wo yare kra da hospital a na wo ye wo ba enkofo ne beba be ye adwuma wo ho apepa wo ho enti wukunu betimi abepepa wo ho wo ye bema wo yare wo yiri betimi abepepa wo ho enye boasa wo ba besia ohu odin na wo de bema aba abrochire in the name of enkrata na bema ni mu se oba no mensinioma na enkrata no obeja na obetwa enkrata anim enti wo ba sabi etimi tena se ema moja efore ne pant mu nyinara no wayi moja ne pad hey ada ye beka asem we be ye de wa akwantu mu nsem na wo ba besia wayi moja any pad any wo panty na wo de ato bathroom na wo dware as a midwife kikikiki me kwa adwuma no akotena wo ka mu as a midwife as a cleaner as a whatever na bema no ene nko bathroom onko tidy up no wonyi wo pad nkotontwene na wonsi wo moja dress na ehye wo no in the name of enkrata se wanya enkrata no betwam hebra me se wo data ene ye ne lawyer atenase bia na wunim oba bi nsusu be metimi de oba aba abrochire na wono nsusu etimi bu oba ode oba se wo ye oba so ye bema de woni nkrata no okopa adwuma ma wo a menka se obi de oba abrochire ntua ne ka tua ne ka eye bosia no wagie tua ka na emomu no manipa ne gab manipa ne home oba bema etimi de ni kunu ne yere ba abrochire na wabie bank card wa pa adwuma ma no na wa seize the bank card especially ema ene etade sade we di yen na ni kunu ne yere seize the bank card o seize the bank card na was wo ye adwuma sika na me de oba ye no na waji ni nyina na wama oba ni bi o se fa top pad oba ni bedi dia je so oba ni kunu ho financial handicap oba ni wa abusuya bema wa abusuya e wo Ghana wo de na ba abrochire yes otwia wo ka but remember say bema na wo de na ba no o wa abusuya oba na wo de na ba no o wa abusuya because of enkrata ni nti usuro si ebeja waware usuro si eja waware a enkrata ni ebetwam enti aduane a wo mpe wo fie ho na wudie financial abuse and ye abuse woni musika wo ye adwuma wu ano se wo ye oba se wo ye bema because woni mi se wo kan ye beja waware woni mi se wo kan won krata ni ebetwam it's never true but me pa chow tie me no men kan kire wo se go and abuse ukunu ana wo yere men kan kire se and de wo tie me no wo de wo yere enkodi apre wo yere na de wa ba wo kan asema huntie ukunu na de wa ba wo kan asema huntie debi in the name of enkrata emema bebre ntimi nkofie emma bebre ntimi nkofie yaka o ma hyede mempie edi we ni agoro enye sei wo yesa wo nkrata na ebetwam me ye be ma me nam do ba ye metwam me ye wo ba me nam do ba ye metwam me pa cho ene ye be kasa fa emotional abuse, domestic violence, enye ebronko ena utimi gina so di nyankrata se wa be kromi ha ene wa ware no na ye do wa be kromi ha na ya ma wo mfie num na wo nkrata no enuru ba bia na se wo kosa titi mu bia woni lawyer Frank nkasa wo be gina so wo be ji wo indefinite leave to remain straight away se wo be kromi ha wadi afe na wo nkrata de ma wo na ye mfie num wo be ji indefinite straight away wo be ji indefinite wa abra wo kunu no wo yere no mi tonko Nelson Menayo, Quadrantize me tongue. Nelson Menayo, Obeji will indefinitely live to me. Sex abuse. Obi o wa na yiri na dinaba. O a man ye ta pesa. Mene wona enkrata enti. Na oni ni kuna wa ware ne dinabe kuromi ha dem. Na oba besia de bema badem na bema ne na beda na ni kuna odi na Africa na aba no ete ho because ubie wa no ankrata metwam. The same thing bema so timi de na yire ba sex abuse one na yire na oba na nimu no ode oba foforo awura fie no oba na eda koye aduane ma me girlfriend koye aduane ma me boyfriend koye aduane ma say hey sister. Emotional abuse ujina so dia ju indefinitely live to remain and ye ne lawyer atena se mo a mukuna yira yiyufuo momra wa ware ukuna yira o yira abuse no we be kwa ma wo indefinitely be so why you stress wo kwan amefa so a obeju indefinitely live to remain me pa chobra na ene woni emra metena se abuses no wo ekoma akwanya bebere wo ho lawyer Frank. And I'm a person who need a new commo.
Yeah.
Because a ma bebre call how mo in the name of Enkrata. A mema bebre call a maniania titim in the name of Enkrata. Abuse. But a yana yan gana for no, ya juni ye say, ya tani yan sa bo ne moje bana pie, and no ne ye evidence. Echere say wo kọ amane ene atiti mo ene a person wo die dosuko ewura abuses in spouse ewo aware mu omo a omodi waba enye lawyer me person ne ebeka obi a both omo won krata wo obi a wagina ni kunu so ne yire so de nya nkrata abuses e kwan ben e no befa so a on lose ne nkrata na ekura no because you dey threaten wo we ya metwa nkrata enim we ya metwa nkrata enim we ya me du be kofie wa ma me 2,000 pounds a metwam wa ma me 1,000 pounds a metwam financial handicaps it be person woni e kasa e kire ye say akwanya bi wo ho asa abuses no ebetimi adarete yen ama yen nkrata yen twam a ye di benya asetena e wo kromi ha lawyer me pacho yen ko me pacho ya mama lawyer volume embra es
so for me dasi wo akonya em say se me kasafa domestic abuse no ho a me de transnational marriage abandonment so de ka ho na ma cheche ni mienu nyina because ni mienu nyina hu hia pa na ni nyina no so ko you can say hand to hand until now. Sorry, I'll speak about both sides. Yes, the whole canina domestic abuse idea hard dream pa your community no, but yen can't the both men and women are going through such kind of violence and such a kind of abuses. And many a times, because of some cultural reasons, we don't speak about it. We keep it to ourselves and we keep on suffering from silence. More importantly, say o spouse na or the oba a krom hano say on only a British now we know depending on your spouse, no, your immigration status depend on it here. You become very trapped and of course, stressed and worried because you can't do anything without the spouse. If you decided to leave the marriage, you are scared that your immigration will be precarious or your immigration will be revoked. And therefore, people continue to live in domestic abuse relationship without living in the marriage or in the relationship. Na ɛno ne adeɛ a ama nnipa no bebree akɔda ayaresabea because sɛ nneɛma a ɛhyɛ no so. Just last Friday, one typical case here, menya free guy baako hɔ. Obi a 32-year-old boy, he said, ato pressure duro so. Nsɛm no ne sɛ ɔde to ha na ne yere a ɔde no aba ha no de ato ha. Ɔbɛn ma n'aso mu ndwe no. Deɛ na wɔkan bi no, ɔte fie, ɔbaa no tumi kɔfa boy ɛba. Na ɔbaa baako ofiri adwuma baeɛ ɔbɛtoo sɛ ɔbarima bi ne ne yere a wabɛware no, ne yere no kɔɔ Ghana kɔware barima boy no ɔde ne baeɛ. Wabɛto sɛ ɔne another barima ɛda wɔn dan mu wɔn mpa so. Ɔkɔka a ɔse ɛneɛ wontumi afiri fie kɔ. Nti adeɛ bi sei no kyerɛ sɛ sɔfo maame wanyɛ careful wanhwɛ yi a ɛde wobɛkɔ akɔto ayaresabea. Akwaraa a wɔwɔ ne kurom na ɔnni pressure 32 sɛ sei ɛde no ato aduro so because ɔne obiara nkasa. Ɔsɛ lawyer mentumi nka nkyerɛ wɔ biara na madamfo baako a ne ɛwɔ adwuma mu meka kyerɛ no ɛna ɔsɛ ne lawyer fra nkasa ne ho kwan a wɔbɛfa so. Ɔkasa nyinaa na wɔresum because nsɛm no ɔsɛ wahu videos on ne yere ne barima no exchange nyinaa. Ɛha adwen a saa nipa wei sɛ nyame anyina akyiri a wanhwɛ yi a ɔno abɛtumi adi ne ho dɛm because wabɛto sɛ ɔyere anaa wokunu ɔbaa barima bi da no so anaa ɔbaa da no so bɛtumi de shock bi aba. Nti ɛnnɛ wodi program yi baeɛ no m'ani agye sɛ yɛbɛka ho asɛm na ɛm sɛ yɛaka ho asɛm da na wɔn a wɔtieɛ ne a wɔn follow us a wɔn baeɛ hɔnom no ɛyɛ application ɛm sɛ wow yɛ witness to that. Obiara almost obi a ɔbɛyɛ biara with such a situation nyame agye n'akyi ama n'anya ne nkrataa. Nti ne yɛbɛkɔ so abɔ ho dahuro na amanfoɔ a wɔn go through similar situation wɔn hu baabi a wɔn bɛfa no. Omaba Uni lawyer come to Mascot solicitors and we are happy to welcome you and take you through the process. So today I'll take my time and goes through it again. As I stated earlier on, I'm not gonna talk about only domestic abuse here in UK, but I'll also go further to talk about transnational marriage abandonment and so because a lot of people in our community are facing such kind of situation. It is a thing I will encourage you to share the video, like it, love it, talk to people, invite people, share it so that this will go a long way to help people in our community. Now, a lot of people are dying in silence. So, you can't domestic abuse Ukraine, people say anything. No, nana, so man, who church mammy di biato sono. Obviously, domestic abuse is super, but I'm seeing limited home for the purpose of immigration until for immigration. But generally speaking, you can't domestic abuse or you can't for obia nukun they get action and who blow and now say or go through emotional abuse and now say coercive behavior or go through and emotional abuse na be na ye keka ho asem no na no ya ade a kum nipa kra chen physical no. Because most people know on punch when home and I say on to in soon go so. Name idea obey you no shall home and so untimin yahoshi and ye untimin ka. And sometimes even to get evidence for emotional abuse is very, very difficult. But of course, physical abuse there. A ja oko hospital won't see a punch when you're black eye and after police who say who baby a trap and a team. Tiana to get evidence on physical abuse no a bit more easier than emotional abuse. So when we talk about generally domestic abuse, anybody suffering physical violence or emotional abuse or emotional violence, which could be in the form of yaki can say a beer who can name the wife and answer the year and a new crew be you be said digital abuse ninging out or be a Facebook or the social media and on a phone who can name the control be he or she will decide who you should speak to and whom you don't have to speak to. You know, I've had a situation, depending about me, I say, lawyer, if you may boost your knee craft, who can say, don't talk to this person, don't talk. And sometimes you go even to the extent that your other partner can even stop you from talking to your own parents, your own mother or your own father or your own siblings. These are all form of domestic abuse because the victim is not ready to stop talking to these people. But by virtue of the fact that the spouse wants him or her to stop talking to these people, he or she have to stop. Obi wɔ hɔ nso a ɛnyɛ only about that, it's obi finance. Either sɛ ne kunu anaa ne yere bɛka kyerɛ no sɛ I don't want you to go to this work. I had a scenario about I think 2-3 years ago. The lady na ɔyɛ adwuma ɔyɛ nurse NHS na bɛrima no suspect sɛ ɔkɔ adwuma 90 a ɔne bɛrima foforɔ ɛkɔda. Ɛno nti no ɔbaa no tuu kaa na ɔno nso atu kaa di n'akyi. Ɔbaa no hu otumi bɛrima no tumi kɔ pake adwuma mu ɛna ɔbɛtwɛn sɛ ɔbaa no ɛbɛpie aba. Afei deɛ ɛkɔbaa sɛ bɛrima no sɛ ɔntumi bɛ wɔ sɛ ɔbaa no agya adwuma. Obi a ɔyɛ qualifying nurse ɔsɛ ɔngya n'adwuma ɔno abɛhwɛ no. Ɔbaa no pɛ sɛ awadeɛ no kɔ so ɛno nti ɔgya adwuma. Afei ɔgya adwuma nso a bɛrima no ɛma ne kaprɛ. Ɛkyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ nsɛnsɛm bebree ɛkɔduru baabi. Afei bɛrima no kora tutu ɛbɔ no to ne tirinwi nti ɛhɔ na police baa mu ɛna asɛm no bɛtɔɔ m'anim. Na wotie mu nsɛm a kyerɛ sɛ deɛ ɔba no ɛnni ne fa ahodie ɛwɔ efie koraa. Bɛrima na ɔde n'aba no deɛ bɛrima no bɛka no ɛna ɔsɛ ɔyɛ ho adwuma. So these are all kinds of abuse people are going through. Obi wɔ hɔ nso a ɛyɛ sexual abuse. Sexual abuse ne sɛ obi wɔ hɔnom a ebi a time a ne ho ka nipa sɛ ɔne no ɛda no she or he is not ready to do that. Anaasɛ ebi a he or she is ready to obviously sleep with his or her husband or wife, but you know the other party will deny him or her the sexual needs. Obi also a won't deny no, and so obema waboro so when you're ready cry na or the 2 hour so I say I had a scenario from Uganda family or by 4 months or about 9 shift akwaba be duro ba ya na oba no say can say you were juma to the sense wadana na oba na maame akotu nsu agu no so say yamfo free ukrom say ba na beda or na isa also no yere koda nti oba no maame correct me for so say was a bema no any negere ekoda. So sexual abuse can be either way, either say the other party no there be no for so say original so say and the crowd near ready me no better and I say we here body no be wood or person onya some atenka bi with him release kakra so and the other party said no me wa ebi kra na other party so no akọ asepe no ho baby aba and so other one dey on person obenya bi. They are all form of abuse financial nti obi honma onye adwuma e wose no ho kani ne eboa no omoa no ono so person obekọ akoye adwuma bi oso kra oye adwuma a ne ho kani na gi ne sika na ode ye bibia no ode kakra ato no oyster. I had a scenario obi honma na ato oyster ma no nti de ode befa transport nko a na wonya ba sesika ode betu ni bottom no bitimi aye de opese wo ye ne de ebi ensida. And this happen most often o no more joint accounts no and okra de na ehu bebre until bema na oba na se enye joint accounts but oba na bema no with immigration no you can say limited no or no suffer only control accounts no so the or British citizen and so indefinite leave to remain no one control our accounts and so and normally go through this scenario for domestic abuse as of I mean is countless obi ho no so a you kind of say instead of say kind of harassment and now stalking, the other party a bit more harass. So a different way. And when we talk about, I mentioned about coercive behavior, and let me go into a bit of details. And say coercive behavior, and it could be say your other partner, he or she is always keeping track of somebody's schedules and as a interaction. And just say bibi a woyɛ biara no your other partner person will keep track of it or excluding you from your family and friends. Now they are all form of coercive behavior. And I said dehumanize the person ebia in front of wo namfofoɔ anaasɛ w'adwumamufoɔ anaasɛ nnipa mu a ogu anim ase ɔbarima bi hɔ obɛtumi ato ɔbaa ho paa kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ agorɔ. Ɔbaa bi so hɔ nom a ɔdrɛse barima bi a wogyina hɔ a wo se bɛfem nti ɔdehumanize ɔma womfili belonging. You don't feel yourself, you don't feel as a you can say as a human. Some people body shaming, they are all form of domestic abuse in the marriage, a threat to harm. Beyond or more, but or bet the be no threat of go. You say, and as do has here, may you say, on to the be our nama, who about so, who also, denying you your fundamental rights and basic needs. Obi okrana, obano, and abema never trade you, and also would fear. Obi wɔ hɔnom a obi pɛ banku, obi nso so mepɛ fufuo, obi nso so mepɛ ampesie. But bɛrima no sɛ wei na mepɛ. I had a scenario. Ɔbaa no ɛnwe nam, bɛrima no ɛwe nam. So ɔbaa nso no yɛ noa ɛnam aduane ɛwɔ fie ɛda. Nti a whole lot of abuse system go through in the marriages. Now domestic abuse a yɛkeka ho nyinaa no benefit to people who are married, either the same sex marriage or partners, and now unmarried partners. But if you're an unmarried partner, you have to prove say you've been living with your partner for at least 2 years. But if you're a married partner, you don't really need to establish whether you've been living with your other half either 10 years or 1 year or 2 years. The evidence is you got marriage certificate to prove that you are married. So it could be a same partners sex partners marriage, or now say it could be cohabitation in the form of unmarried partner, but you've lived together for at least 2 years. Apart from say yehu nkɔfoɔ a ɔmbɛtumi benefit no, we need to show say the marriage or the relationship has broken down irretrievably because of the domestic abuse. Nti sɛ wɔntumi establish sɛ wawade anaa relationship no ɛyɛ abuse ne nti ɛna ɛsɛe a yɛntumi mfa application ɛba. So I ran away from the relationship due to domestic abuse, due to domestic violence. That is why the relationship has broken down irretrievably. And once you can establish that, of course, it comes with evidence. Then you need to provide evidence. Now, the problem is that most people going through the emotional abuse, they don't tell other side and as other party and as a third party be a woman. Nti wobɛhu sɛ nipa no ɛsere wa ɔkɔda ɔntumi ɛna. Nti wotie me na sɛ wo go through saa ɔhaw mu a ɛwɔ sɛ wokɔ wo GP hɔ na waka akyerɛ wo GP sɛ sei na ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ m'abrabɔ mu. And then it will come on your record. They will offer a support, advice support, medical treatment via the Bemano. They will do it. But one can actually obi ehu. And say, what person application the lawyer and the busa and answer if you can say busa and say evidence way. Also, I didn't a papa a real and no correct. And so we need evidence to prove that no correct. You are a victim of domestic abuse. And to if you are listening to me today, this morning, then I will encourage you to keep records of every detailed abuse. Report to your GP. You report to if you are in an organization, a church, or it could be mosque, it could be any form of organization. Report to them. If you know any social worker, report to them. If you have family and friends, report to them. Record them. And I always tell people, open up a diary and keep notes on days and time these are happening. Nti ebia every day biara no or phone or kani na afa and or control bi okra na ho kani na respond call. Or call number no no na obe respond. And or catch nipa ni straight don't call this number again. Record those details. Say ABR usika and or no control, record it. Whatever form of abuse no biara na happen on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, record them. Because when we're doing the application, we can ask for all these diaries, and then depend on what we've seen, and then we can obviously build a statement out of it. Into your application, now you build our evidence. We have so if I've reported to GP or any social worker is involved or police have been involved, then of course we need evidence from all these organizations. Say if you're Muslim, you're reported to mosque or a church, you're a pastor, then we need a letter. Family, friends, we need a letter. We need a detailed statement from you, the person who claimed to be a victim of domestic abuse as well. And now, once we get this, then of course we can collate all of them together and submit your application. Now, so apart from having your evidence and of course identify you as a spouse or unmarried partner or same-sex partner, and I say we have evidence to say indeed domestic abuse has occurred in your life. No, the next option, the next step is say uh, do you have a case for us to submit? Nti yɛbɛyɛ assessment, yɛbɛhu sɛ nokorɛ asɛm a papa yi kan, maame yi kan is true. Evidence are there shows that he or she is a victim of domestic abuse or domestic violence. So all these evidence are credible evidence. We've seen a letter from GP, we've seen a letter from the pastor or mosque imam, or we've seen letters or statements or witness statements for family and friends or work people. In some years ago, I think 6 years ago, I did one work that the lady's supervisor gave a very detailed letter. I was very convincing, very compelling a letter explaining that when the lady comes to work, she cannot work. She has been given her, a time of work because of the abuse. So if your employer is aware of what you are going through, and as a result of the domestic abuse, you cannot work or function well at workplace, please speak to your employer, get a letter, a support letter from them to support your application. Nti yɛnya wei nyinaa ansa yɛbɛtumi asubmit application no. Now, application fee, I think currently is around 288 or 5 or something. I have to check the fees. But obi ohon man onisika indefinite leave to remain application untimi enye fee waiver. But so we are victim of domestic abuse, you can apply for fee waiver. Inti normally obi are all struggle financially, you better apply for concession. Concession, they will give you 3 months that you can access public fund, you can get universal credit or whatever benefit that you qualify for, you can have it. Because so 2.5 or so, most often you don't have access to public fund. But if you're a victim of domestic abuse, before your indefinite leave to remain application will be submitted, will apply for concession, which will give you at least 3 months to be able to access public fund. And then on your application to put a fee waiver application so that you don't need to pay for home office fees. Now, this is what domestic abuse is about, and this is how Obetimi put your application for indefinite leave to remain. So it doesn't matter be on my he or she has been in the marriage or his immigration, he just came here for a year ago, but or the application at when you indefinite leave to remain within 2 years, instead of going for 5 years. Within 2 years or 1 year or 3 years or 4 years. Now, when you're now indefinite leave to remain. The reason behind this is to give the victim a freedom to live his or her life without harassment, without abuse from the spouse that sponsored him or her to the United Kingdom. So, I mean, the debate has said, then if you have any question, then I can go into a bit more further. But I will end here and allow you to ask a question. Let us. So why yɛnte wɔn ka.
Yɛda lawyer ase bebree ne nkyerɛmu a lawyer de ama yɛn ɛfa ɛyɛ domestic violence ne abuses abuses ho ne domestic violence. Lawyer mepakyɛw me question a mepɛ sɛ mebusa me first question is sɛ wosi wontumi mfa wano kɛkɛ ɛma meka sɛ ɛyɛ abuse deɛ wo kɔmunie because of ɛyɛ nkrataa ho asɛm ɛna wɔ mu gyina hɔ etwa wo 5 years na yɛde ama wo ni nyinaa to agu na yɛma wo straight away indefinite leave to remain na yɛasa ma wo to access to public fund wobetimi de akɔgye dan wobetimi de agye benefit wobetimi de agye bibia and because of that no omu here proof me pacho DM me wa wubusa Prophet Greg number ne DM me sesi a me de be ma omu here proof ne so lawyer me pese me busa say proof no police for de enko an omu here na because all say ye kuromufo no sorry ye kuromufo no wo ko report wo yere ana wo ko report wo kunuma police ni a ebusuafo beka se hey ana yen ganafo ne kra no ye beka se oba yi de wonye ena be ma de wa ba abro kire no akofre police ama no be ma de wonye ena oba de wa ba abro kire no akofre police ama no enso bia na de wo ba ni komu wo fie ho no police nko ana wo se bem enti epese hu se proof na wo ka no wo ka se wo betimi a report wa ma wadanfo asori a wo ko betimi abo osofo amane wo ko wo ye muslim a betimi akomox akobona amane wo gp the best key wo se wo ko gp ho de wo ko mu nyina na akobo wo gp amane lawyer bia na bro bro no yetimi bo wasum na wani so nyina no Africans map wa betoto wani so ene wani so ye stars eno no was so free police because a bro bi wo wa it's lead to killing enti e pese hu se police de ene etimi yifiri mu mane ye ya na se bia wabo na nka wa fa photo wabo na wasu awie no wani ma ho no na nka wa fa wo camera o phone won kofre police bia wo obi won so so mpese na asem be kwa abonti ame nkofo atwetwe no na nka wa video wo ho ene date say me yiri ya bobe pa mo hwe mani ma ahunhunu ya me yiri na abo mi sa na wasu na nka wa record ho de ato ho eno no enye evidence ana
It does. I mean, because of possibly where we are coming from, cultural background, or for some reason, nti obi hodma no also papa, especially maybe from physical side, but on himself a catch police ya chin ho kanino ya chin ho kanina abusuan nyina baburu ni bia ti enti no bonse na nipa no etim ontimi nya ho hwe but the situation is so mama say unbearable now physically no you are suffering from such kind of violence here. You need to stop the violence. You can't allow the violence to continue, and it has to be stopped because say once to put any pana and you will crowd be nipa for there has been instance here in the panel such a situation across were fade by the time I was who na yakun other side until so be study the behavior knowing that that person possibly will hear a lesson, so I will say in that circumstances it's always important over report to police to ensure that the person stop perpetrating the violence against you or any other party. And the sad side is that sometimes it's not only limited to even the victim who is possibly will be the wife, but it goes further to the children as well. Indeed, I had a scenario. Papa no ekware obana from Ghana, and I know obana what stepchildren, two, and what do omo Ghana. Everything is sweet, nice, and everything. But Umbedru has said, it was terrible, for the family. nurse whom we call refugee center. The children never felt beloved, and the treatment from their stepdad was really, really horrible. To the extent that a bolo baby my school no cry a bemu, and said the way na crying you see you a hard drink. So it's a situation that I will always say, if the violence is perpetrated against a victim, you have to report. But on another hand, so free say, the choice is yours. One person will be report to or other party, maybe yabechin and I say or how be a banner so and the sort of my choice. But from legal perspective, now I would say, in order to pursue a claim as a victim of domestic abuse, you must always have evidence in place. Into physical violence here, maybe when you are punch when you are, take photos of it, take pictures of it. I've had a situation and now lady they are scratching ne ho nyinaa nti ne pictures a ɛwɔ hɔ yɛde ka ho ɛna yɛde kɔɔeɛ. The problem is sometimes when it's physical and you don't pursue, home office come back and say, oh, okra no, police report ne by na ɛkyerɛ sɛ one hour draw case. Indeed, if you were a victim and your marriage broke down as a result of domestic abuse, and will go ahead for prosecution. But that is debatable. But what I was saying is once there's a physical violence, take pictures as much as you can, then keep the pictures, give it to your lawyers, add it to your evidence, and then and there has been a situation, one Asia family, the lady could not go ahead to report the case because the husband family were connected in Pakistan. So he was scared that if the husband is prosecuted in UK and she goes back to their home country, she will be killed or attacked in their home country. And because of that, she just afraid of run away and never reported the case. So there are a lot of the domestic abuse cases can be very complex and also very emotional. And because of the complexity of it, when you're dealing with it, you need to know it's a very sensitive case that you need to know how to handle it. If not, if not, it can blow out of proportion. That the victim will end up, going through more abuse or worse abuse that he or she had ever anticipated. May that's
Yo, yeta lawyers me beautiful lines no de atum. Any question be a person busa lawyer Frankie bia full free ne busa ofra me modim. Any question be a wo person busa lawyer Frank e fa wo ho e bia wo kunu no hu no yiri no hu ne nyina ya abuse ne bia. Waja wasimu enti won krata no onye ye wasize won krata no wo biometric yi waje ahye ne dem say ye won fama. Enkura passport ye bedi ho nkomo next week enkura ya wo mo a wo papa no majeje wo passport o mo maame no majeje o mo passport se e ma wunyina so na ho fanye bi ne nyina ya abuses ne bia any question bi apeso busa lawyer bia no me pacho ubetimi abusa numbers no na good screen so 00447502422799 wo hwe me wo TikTok wo pese wo ba program ne so e be busa lawyer any question emfa ene topic ne ho kra na o request ya me pacho ye be pick o na won so waba so na won lawyer abetwetwe nkomo nam lawyer me pacho lawyer apija nsa.
yeah. Answer will be ye line for questions. Now, I said I will speak about transnational marriage abandonment. It's my main line and come. This is a situation maybe your husband or your wife come to marry you. Now that person took you back to your home country and left you there. Nti obi odma na waware na ne ho kane no asande ne ko ne krom anase free Ghana or the Ghana na wagye ne passport na wagya oba na be ma no ho one woman is ka onye ne hwe wa find the passport na waba UK because on pese ne ho kane ne beba ekrom ha bio nti so what is there's a way for you can put in application under the transnational marriage abandonment route. It's also a form of domestic violence or domestic abuse because the person deny your right to continue to be home country, or control your movement, or control your finances, or control everything about you. And see, if you are somebody like that, maybe or Ghana or any part of the world that you've experienced a transnational abandonment and marriage abandonment, you can make a contact and we can assist you to bring you back to UK. Thank you.
Ebia wo kunu de wakọ Ghana na wo kunu ana wo yire no won de obaaye onya wo ha se wo se yenkọ Ghana ne yenkodi Easter yenkọ Ghana ne yenkodi bronya okọ a no agya wase wo no asizu passport no do aba ono de aba no agya wo Ghana me pa cho contact no lawyer Franco ye debui o ye the best o se contact no o de wo beba eye ekromi ha se na obi busa question bi o se evidence no say GP evidence now o mo bebusa no question no kura wo hefa kwa na was say, so if I got to GP to say and I am being abused whilst I know it is not true, just to get the evidence, me pacho there be GP no so be investigation questions o mo be busa no won ko abuse ma me pacho me ko twantron to obi aso enkoye hwe uko GP ho ani nyina no they need all the evidence no me pacho na omo won krata no obi wo ho a listen to me dia wo won krata no ono susu betimi e deny himself said dia wo kan wo boa whereby ya mimi ni obi a wode ne yira bakuru mi ya ne yire sori a TikTok yi obi gina so a fiti anopa no wo ye life na hede na ni kunu te ho aduane kura ni kunu bedi kura no onye mfama no eno ya abuse wo nso so wo abuse de won krata no onso wo abuse nti eno no ono nso betimi ame age won krata na firi won nsem eno nso wo ho saa eno nso wo no nso so betimi akase aware no metwam me nwa no biem because woni me na tama ne me beda na agina social media tama ne me beda no afre kwa me ban woni kwa me ban be kasa fitia na pa kopema numre enti eno no enye samu a huni nkrata anko a mo na mo sa privilege no there be. Good morning sweetie, kwame yanko
okay, good afternoon and good morning still.
Good morning still. Your morning yanko.
Yeah, yami nshira mo bebre
ejo so
me pacho me ye aye skill worker. Benene na ba kurum aye fi Ghana na ye nyina ye bae. Ye bae no no ye made Africans and I me ye dependent. Ye nyina ye adwuma kama ni COS ye ntwam. Na ko menene dawa na me hu se ni phone ring. Me fire aye be ma foforo. Be ma no kire me se the girlfriend ene me yere. Na ko ni me se me yere aware because me yere country ne say waware and me yere na twempona me yere kasa me yere buafu watu afifie eja me hokọ papa ke ne nuama eden ya me ne dem no watu kọ ama sisi ame nko na meti ma frɛ ya busuafo wo fie omone na kasa so ombra back till ano wa ma we no lawyer betumi aye ho bibia ama me
skill worker wona ye dependent ana so we
dependent only a main applicant
and ono no eko okay lawyer we dey na obetimi aye aboa dependent no.
Yeah, and unfortunately, so limited leave to remain and as skilled worker, you don't qualify under the domestic abuse route to get indefinite leave to remain. So,
lawyer.
Okay.
To qualify for indefinite under domestic abuse.
Akwasi me menti lawyer nka ho. Omo he lawyer ne de omo te lawyer. Lawyer ka so omo de omo to nka ba me menti nka me ne TikTok phone nti.
Okay. And to qualify for domestic abuse as a victim of domestic abuse or indefinite leave to remain, you have to show that your spouse has indefinite leave to remain or has a British book. So he or she must be British citizen or has indefinite leave to remain. But a limited leave to remain and a skill visa there, for the purpose of ILA, you cannot apply for ILA. But then there may be other options to look into. Unfortunately, Kwame is a big problem because with skill visa, you always depend on your spouse until you get indefinite leave to remain or your spouse get indefinite leave to remain. There has been a lot of scenario. I'm currently dealing with one that, the husband abused, her all the time. But unfortunately, because it's a any indefinite need, me and pursue the route to get indefinite leave to remain. So our dear Munjai and I will go our dear net year, then you will be to apply for whatever skill visa, yeah, the amount of Oban go our dear net year, Kwame is a problem.
Enipa ne dɔɔso. Hello, Abdul Yanko.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, just so.
Papa Prophet.
Oh, just so.
No, Pacho, many question. Yeah, in China, China, make us a million Ghana for Musham. You might be on to me from a motor. Actually, now before you don't go to 24. We are.
Oh.
Ghana for very careful with you. Go for no more 24. We are China. Look down. Babu cried the money in your money. You are within the corner. The year crowd.
Oh.
Ghana for very careful and go for no more.
Yate Abdul, Nyami shira wate yeda sepa. Me pacho yenko TikTok so Lao Jim Jemfi yenko.
My problem is I can say application and almost every few years and appeal. It's like your course second travel now.
The application now
Our ready is like non maybe dependent on my no.
You are real. You are real. Okay.
Nah. Yeah, we better me besides not whole church. There was a instance abuse and a honey man. Yes, you will be to media, so and I will be lawyer, not any Cassana, bit me, I say, lawyer bit me, I'll be on abuse, and I say, visa up to me, Abua. And to not be say, the lawyer church more abuse, and it only goes for more. I'll follow my bahad and I am 2 years, 2.5, and I say, well, who wants to smell you if you see a bit of this one to touch me?
And you are more, you do more free Ghana, who Krum has said, Nase, Ukuna now, you know, and I'm the sooner when you and Clatter, I'll bet me a j. But who now? Who walk young farmer when I refuse you know? I don't know. Lawyer on Frewana. Oh, good. That's good. Me batch of friend lawyer why? Or say friend no?
Yeah, Pacho, set work on the number.
Aye, an idea momena men farmer. Right. You. Say what? Young content creator. Say what young sweetie.
Good morning.
Yes, darling, sweetie now here.
Kissing you.
I say me who now who atie ma refie wate. Kiss. Atiye wo ho na ato na ho aye fe. Ye wi anu afrem o de ye nko. Hey. Enye me hu ani fa telephone po ne frɛ. How many years? 1 year ni ho frɛ me da. O de kiss ye nko. Ye nko right.
Me patrol. Me person me bisa lawyer say obi ewo obi the skill worker visa ne ban. Ne employer no amane juma. And also I started with EU process.
EU process said there na wo ye.
Family member.
Family member be our rear and now wo ye dependent. Adoption.
Family member and yeah our rear.
Se wo offer ne do ba na se wo maame ana hwan na wo da ne so wo offer.
No offer.
Okay.
No offer no be da ne so.
No offer no be da ne so ni EU visa ni skill worker visa ni ntwem.
There be in chair.
Okay, that's good.
It's or still process no any response be free a home office.
Oh yeah, near free nipa ne yeah near free you. Okay, lawyer Bremai.
Yes, sir. First of all,
I won't be a lawyer me patch also we.
And as I say, no, when you sponsorship. Company offer a sponsorship 5 years. It's now a person who say you know they are to on your response. Obey me as the sponsorship no application is up to without problem. Be an answer this or withdraw you know. And sana what was sponsorship needed as well.
All right.
See, first of all, the EU application as a standard family member of an uncle is a wrong application.
Me patch on me
the application will be rejected because some person who claim as a family member of a extended family member of the EU citizen. Also, claim say submit the application before 11:45 p.m. on 31st December 2020. Into any application as a extended family member after that date will be void. And yeah, they are very successful. Into that's one. This application, I wouldn't waste my time to entertain it. So when you sponsorship,
now to be a free application.
So you need to and yes, with me as submit the application. But say or you overstay at the time I'm talking here, and the sponsorship application will not be successful.
Lawyer Jina so meba sima wo kan nyina mante. Enti Jina so meba. Lawyer wo ti me kan ho.
Me too.
Okay. That's good. See before the next how. And I'm when you know film na yemfa computer na volume ninge ni yemfa save it till okay. I think sir me hano me sound no ate kwa mente lawyer enka. Enti no me sremo me the lawyer number mamo. Oho o ye free question bia mo frɛ no. Mo frɛ na sesi a obenya mre. Obey will be no any question be a mo person mo bisa lawyer bia. Unfortunately, say lawyer kasa ma mo what TikTok no monte Facebook for bete. Facebook for te mente the lawyer ka omo ye enti me pa mo chonka me the lawyer number to what the amamo. Oh, nipa muguso. Me the lawyer number mamo ntino mesremo enka obia enfre lawyer.
Madam Pastor, me question it and comment me you know.
Me metimi you ano. Ba lawyer don't know so metimi you ano. Lawyer wa ha. Wo ya application ko home officer na lawyer kasa. Lawyer wo ho asema wo ka. But na ka me pese lawyer na kasa. Wo ya application ko home officer. Wo the first one ko na wo the second one ko kan automatically ne. First one na wo dey akono. Last one no dey wo dey ko no e be cancel. Skill worker dey ne be kwa cancel you dey no. Application ba na lawyer can be binti na me pese ono ye lawyer no. Ono e kan and the two you dey no omo mfa ma because you free you enti you dependent be any ho and the proof I was wo kire na omo de be kan wa mo nyina no e fake enyo original because ye free you muno na wo onye wo fa ana omobeka sefa evidence bra by ye free you mu 2020 5 years ni enti no media ka advise you say ye 5 years skill worker no mo de ama wo no eno na ye na yi you de no menye wa shu sika egu wo be ye bibi say ya won frame wo nipa boninti I want you to
my grandpa me question enye nde asem no but pe se me bisa say me ne ma na wa ha yekita
why na ebusa me asem Anita
ma pacho ai
na say ni tenuru so
ma me tamaso me question
I na me say ka me the lawyer number ma mo na ma frɛ lawyer
ma me de simple wa betinye yi ma no
kasa me fa lawyer number
me say yekita 5 years
yes
oh
you na say
you na ya busy and yes kema kam no so ma be good lawyer person me who say nya fi say ebebe ya nya 4 years am good lawyer
me pacho wa phone is me gina so so yeah about 5 years
acha
85 years na e was a way application ko home officer minya sound no beka 1 month 28 days and e was a way application ko home office na emomu no se aware na wo ware ya wo de ba ya oni lawyer nkasa because bia na wa ware no kra no watwam 5 years no
aha me de nya
enya aware na wo de ba ya de a e was a woman wo 5 years no eso pepepe
okay
and some wetimi adu indefinite leave to remain or 5 years na was eso na emom ebeka 1 month 28 days amma wo 5 years na so na was your application neko
okay
ba was so ko hu lawyer answer na lawyer ne kirew enu me was say
me hu lawyer Frank na ma ye mistake that's
me ba mo cho mo ni lawyer
auntie me so me dey lawyer so beti ya
ma me ba why me ba ma me fa lawyer number and to dra lawyer Frank kasa na me hwa de
so for me otiminka hello so for me otiminka
no me pa mo cho lawyer Frank and number enie obia me pa mo cho obia mfa because okasa mente ewo me ha enti me pa cho obia nye number na ye wie ya kama e kate ne crisis ya na obia afre eye lawyer Frank ofre na obenya daje sesia na any question bia wo pese wo busa lawyer bia no wo busa lawyer Frank ne number ye 0790 lawyer Frank number 0790 21 Matro 21 99 091 may say repeat bio me ba TikTok for more fantos mame 079 021 99 091 lawyer Frank number 079 021 99091 lawyer Frank number Mascot for number no 079 legend mon frère lawyer why because okasa so mimi so me bie YouTube and Facebook tie na mo TikTok ne so ente nka okay na ye nyina ya tie free ho ampa won so de adwen aba okay ene me nko Facebook ampa won so de adwen aba okay that's fine lawyer die wo busa wasam first no ho obebusa wo say why application you application ne any skill work application dey akono ya no biom na mentie wo me hanhwade yes
and one na o cheche say you free you on 11:45 p.m. on 30th 31st December 2020. So any extended family application after that date, no, void. And you the be
Okay, lawyer, me fra wo phone so. Eno ye the best. Na mute ho ma me, wo beti me nka. Ana me fra wo phone so. Why? Mute ho me fra wo phone so nti wo beti me akasa. That's good. And eno say another. Oh, that's good. Yes. Another good idea. Inti ye beti lawyer nka. That's good. Inti me pamcho mefa mo call no bia mefa course ni sese. Ti legend ti gina so. Ti ma me Mary TikTok for no be fam. Lawyer. Me pacho kasa. Lawyer mute who ho na me he.
My mute. If I saw what's it? My mute me no.
Na TikTok, who or TikTok?
The same phone that we use.
Okay, the same phone that we use to know.
And say, Echo,
Echo, won't lawyer, ye nyai, or Monfrel. Why? Me pamocho. Why? Me pamocho, or Monfrel. Why? Me pamocho, or Monfrel. Why? Me pamocho obia emfre eye lawyer Frank Mr. Momadawroma lawyer every program ne so enti obia any question bia wo pese woni lawyer ekasa bia no me pacho monfre lawyer na mo ne no entwetwe eye enkomo any question bia lawyer me da se bebre ye beka so wa ha mutu be free ha e de pa ha me pamocho lawyer en number no eye 07902 199091 07902 199091 me pamocho mon friend lawyer Cecilia mama Mary meet you.
Yeah, Auntie, maybe anyway, you know, it's about visitors visa. Let me visa say me uni, right? Now, may have graduation next year. So, let me visa lawyer say with that, met me so they invite.
Yes, obeti me do mama.
Obeti me abuani and the reason why I be cancer say me brother-in-law, your man way visitors invitation, but refuse here.
In what days?
My way be any reason be
more reason because bia dear woman invitation or Ghana no only strong towel other say e was so woba or what yure or where juma or what bibi a chere say invitation na mode ama no oba obesan ko Ghana na woni yiri woni kunu oni ajapade bi o Ghana adwuma nko na e bia wo ye na sika income nso so no nye good a o fama
architecture but then say one
lawyer Frank betimi aboa wo.
Oh, okay.
Obetimi aboa wo sister ntimi patch friend why?
All right, then answer me that. Okay.
Me pa mo cho mo nyina wo bia friend lawyer mo friend na wo te wo sesi a question bia wo pese obusa bia no Mr. Eric question bia wo pese mo obusa bia na ema mo betimi abusa lawyer Mr. Monita mo friend lawyer legend I'm mon friend lawyer.
Madam, may I just contribute?
Oh, okay. All right. Yenko.
I did come a lawyer.
Oh, Joso.
The American says, EU, dear, no, a prayer amount for DBT amount for the said. Oh, it says, a new money, your grandmother. And now say, Umadana ufada utimiya sa application no. But the only when say ya kwa uko kasa u grandmother.
Legend unsusu jina baby ye na unso service ninye.
Mese afi oterenka.
Yeah, me too nka.
Aha. Me ka kire say you dia no dia manfo DBT amanfo ne say o say wo ye nyawe kwa ye de you know
certificate of application.
To omo de bro omo no omo free say no ano no. Na sana akofa problem abro mo na two. Omo yo say enam say enipa ne ya wo nana ana say wo maame a ana wo papa utimi ya application no. But the only thing they say, just a woody DNA approve because evidence on the push no unya. And it's why you're na just all the evidence.
Na me, I don't understand. They say lawyers ni be this nipa bone semono because sika
lawyers, lawyers, send our kind of
pocket lawyers.
Because of say, will be a day. COS
certificate of application.
No to see me, the amount me the aquaji and I me the beer bank. No, dear chili.
When ya
meaning Bebra man twice or more, son,
me that's legend.
Yes, Yama Yagrimumbi. Other two, all my lawyer can say, Mobiba Gusa say, Nase. Yeah, me call me GP. When you say Yamo, I will call GP. Yama Yagrimun no kakra. Yama dream no. They do baby I near ye Casaqua, and the Childuna, Winnie Casaqua, wouldn't you know a copper will be no one church.
One church was sent near Casa, Medase.
You can't be a what you say.
Medase. Legends Medase, that Medase. Madame Choloya number no A 079 07902 199 199 091 A 079 02 199 01091 me ba mo cho mofra owo ho one mo ebe kasa atwetwe nkomo mesrem a me pa mo cho owo ho sesi a opiki course enti se some be frame wa ha ene makasa no lawyer number ena me de atu screen is no lawyer Frank number enti Anita ma me Mary Equia SB lawyer ewo ho mon frɛ no obeyi mo nyina ma no oni mo nyina mo bekasa me das lawyer number na eye Becky ede atoto so no omodi atoto so dia ma me pa cho mon frɛ no which is a very good interested topic na please my question is simple, can I call up? Yes, of course, but na me person ka money lawyer entwetwe enkomo because e bia na mentimi enyu ano me pacho dey question na also person busa.
Auntie Abraham Pacho, good afternoon.
Yes, darling.
The Pacho not cancel 28 days window now to me to renew visa no. My visa I have to renew my visa in the next 2 months. Maybe 4th July.
Maybe Daniel say call straight to voice maybe I will be jina so one or pick a course on him for kasa. O friend or WhatsApp or na friend normal call. Into friend as I engage and I call straight obijna so. Also 28 days night.
But I have to renew my visa in the next 2 months. About 4th July.
4th July was so your application within 28 days, no?
Pacho, but I have a fee waiver code that in the next 10 working days. Now the fee waiver they do how would it to my check.
Yes.
Me name term and minya response name term in 1 month na minya. And you know I have the code which in the next 10 days. It's not the same who say.
Enti application ni tum. Wo your application ni tum a. Utire ya ombetimi a respond won tem. Utire ni ya omde betuma ma wo time na so.
Okay.
Because we code ni wo was so ye new fee waiver.
Now person me who says me the two ma ain't create any problem because I was confused
ain't create problem. Wo your application earlier either say case worker can respond won tem. Or mo be train amana so. Time on us so and ebu or so a obe return no application back to you.
Okay, but
please, mine is not a question for lawyer. Please, can I come on? I said what was so to be Equia SB. Equia
Mommy.
Yes, darling.
Hello, good afternoon.
If you report abuse, what is affect your partner? So we feel sabe pacho abuse be anymore and call report will be
yes.
Abuse will more. Be anywhere be affected no. And no one is so the abuse no one report na de kwaje won krata. Name wa bro dia. E krom ha o de timebo. No ama ya the police be mo be man warning. But a bro ne ye bro wo de ade atwitwa wo de ade prawa e be go against adwuma wo ye krebe me affect no.
Yes.
Ebe criminal offense e de ato ne so. Enti se wo hwe enye nkrata enti se eye kuntunkuni dia ene ye ko hu lawyer na ne nkasa. But se ya ware anyame ya hira so a mesrew na wo yire ne nye wo hwe okunu ne nye wo hwe. Enye wo pa adwane afirifie ni indefinite a wo pese oje ne ntamu nti. Ena abekwa akotwa ntrata okunu so. Obekwa akotwa ntrata oyire so. Go as a clean abuse.
Yes.
Miss Remo.
Mary, good afternoon.
Yes, darling.
So, wait there. It's just a quick, I'll say a quick advice. It's not really a question.
Oh, good. That's
I've been listening to some of the things that the lawyer has been saying, and some of it that I can actually kind of relate to. So that's why I just wanted to come online just to, give a little, should I say, advice.
Oh, that's good.
The thing that he was talking about, I mean, I'm not going to lie to say it's happened to somebody. It's happened to me.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's happened to somebody else. It's happened to me. So in terms of domestic violence and stuff like that, those things are very, very, very... If it happens to you, please, I think from our community, in terms of our new community, you say I say very private people.
I say we your surosi ebe wo kan say now
they are share.
Yes.
But mommy it doesn't help at all. Because sometimes wo as sebi as obano sometimes you be wo try question ka wo be
protect marriage
But obi on na on pass undue. Sorry to say member Ghana for me go no mon pass undue. But mon pass undue. So and decide crata semi a wo can immigration in terms of domestic violence and
emotional abuse in krata no.
Me obi a I'm not going to brag. Me obi a I've been in this country for the past 25 years. Going up to 30 years. Maybe I said 12. Until I have my British passport already. But somebody that I was married to traditionally, I would say traditionally married to, in the end, it became like as if I say because I wasn't register.
Now, say traditional marriage, you can register traditional marriage.
Yes, but mommy, who say in our community, maybe who say our real. But who say when it comes to, I say about the chair near my dear, all of a sudden, yes, it's not legally marriage. But within our community, who say they say I worry.
Yes.
And to me, advice I'm a person with demand can say, and I say people from our community, oh, yeah, traditional Ukraine. Make sure so be register.
Good.
Oh, the power can say call registry office. It doesn't have to be anything big. We are more traditional, big. Now with the more enjoyable. But when it comes to a Chrome hard day, and that's wherever you are, the Western country be a winner. Please make sure so be register our warrior. Nyame fa samba maybe
ba ko free mu a
domestic violence being to walk out of the marriage obeme mo no be catch us say o kwa me waro legally enti no bi kwa ma bre anya niema and so me jan so aka say menye offense say waro legally enti bi a won ka ho. And one other thing, so family members sebi either from the woman's side or from the man's side, you're very, very careful when it comes to our in-laws and our, family members.
Queer, ready Saturday, what I went to Muslim, no about what
Mami, very, very important.
Saturday, I went to Muslim, nurse, Nia, Wabruni Kunia.
Yes, Mami, I'm a nurse myself. I am a qualified nurse myself.
And yet, nurse for more hydrin, yeah, Muntu.
Mami, hydrin, Miss Minch now has Emma show off and I say my Emma can be to make it like as if Sabia me, but me never have said me boy come a partner, me come in crack and come a partner. But in the end, it turned violent. I had to walk out of the marriage because of domestic violence.
Oh.
Yes.
But also make us be a free no. BBC na so they show so be say BBC cry now for catch or suffer crowds na more case or suffer to catch or suffer sometimes suffer one crowd wow because some say because na obi outside say won twa card they don't get so active in the church asem ba wow and they have to say it
enti eno na efuto be na de be mo say wo kwa so dey active say what dey there be ya na me ka kire mo say
no you have to be active fine. But you have to remember, say, as a church member and as a software, so as you see between the members, two members of your church members, you have to try and sort it out. Don't go and stand behind one person because say you're more active within the church.
There be say, when you kuru ne kwa sorry, let me come in. And no, according your moon, some, na me ya according your moon, some me catch will say, as someone, as soft one teaming can or the bar according your moon, someone, ye can.
Yes.
Because according to
sometimes you say you're softening say no mo ye dey omo cancel so go area omo na cancel when
yes
I say you have the confidence of
obeko
sofo say XYZ and unfortunately for some of us no so no ebe e papa worry me because if family kwa they were not happy with your no but because of do e one month pa konita say ye say be tria for family so na bia ya papa worry. So
you don't need to chifa or you don't need to chifa or family so did your pastor know is aware that the both family was not in agreement to support the marriage and your pastor no you're wrong should I say meba mamemre mo ka bibi say asofo bi no mo no both parties ninya asemo a omugina de wo ye active no echi mebem wo ho momienu nyina na mokwa asore no oni wukunu husband and wife edi enti na ba akoye active na ba akonya active there is a question mark
and this active so no kwa kwa asore no say sometimes so worry am kwa join ebia o partner na sorry enti bi okọ dada
anti wo ye visitor wo afa no aba
so wo ko worry ye no na bi akọ join
enti na chese opeso omo chese wo kire se omunnim wo no be ma ne sen wo
that's it 15 years probably
meba said ye wo kan no eye sa na tie ye no kora dia ene na sofo no eye wrong
yes
nemo meba e bia na nye sa na tie meba say wakoka wo partner ho no wa be the part of the church no moye part enti asamo ba do even say wo ma asore wo ho na wo ko wa asore nko na wo kunu ne so ko na asore nko na asamo ba na wo di ko wo kunu sofo anim ana wo oba na sorry because most no oba na sorry ne be ba be bless so near de wa ba be ma na sorry enti any pastor na e be ko no say your ba ne pastor be ma ne pastor no it doesn't matter. Say nipa ne your church member and on your church member, let fairness come in.
Exactly.
Me akwenti yo munsem enu ti ne nkofo nyo ma waresem akwenti yo munsem no mo de ba because me ni ma sofo binu ma asabi omo aka waresem aware no aguo.
Yes.
Oba nka ni ye e ma aware no agu we ka sofo ne bekwa akoka the same mikunu we ye kwase ya sofo ne beka wo yire wo so ye kwase ya enye sa na ye ka asem awaresem obi eni wonima awaresem ka but one kan ye a e de awaregu beba.
Yes.
Enti me ya akwanti omu nsema da bia me kasa me say asamo a asofo ntimi nka ahemfo ntimi nka obi entumi nka o de ba ha ye beka because why ye ma fairness no eye adwuma oba ye wrong ka enya afa ne de be kata so se Bible say oba bre wo ho ase na be ma ebu oba wo se bre wo ho ase enya afa ne be kasa say let the fairness come in enya de wo ka me ba okwa asori a be active to the church, be part of the church. And yes, will be to an tight, and can be ho. And yes, what you are tight, and I year, as some buy and can be mount. Would differ. Well, would dibim.
Mommy,
yes,
all I'm going to say on your platform right now, as Ghanaians, especially the young ones that are coming up, getting married, and all these things, just make sure when you do your traditional marriage, just make sure say Uber register our area. Because them say because you bro. You bread. You sorry question.
Enka Saturday akwenti omusa na nkwaba so.
Enti mama patro.
Na nkwaba so. Aha ye no ye lawyer legal.
Yes, and not just my me can say no. And I make as domestic issue, need domestic violence, financially, physically, emotionally, meaning na a BBA. And you're very, very, very yipa in sometimes Ghanaian marriages. Yes. But now can you as you Catania maso a lot. Yeah, Catania maso.
Oba no be man no oba nkra 10 no oba nye odo. Oba bi wo so so nkra 10 no oba.
And this is what I'm in right now. I have realized some memo.
Ekuya, yenkasa wate. Jeme number ni yenkasa na minya na nyesa me the lawyer.
I didn't understand that.
Me the lawyer program no be ye ebe kwa marriage. Why? Ebe ya
so you can domestic abuse in your
marriage. So what kasache? Yeah, imenu kasache.
What I want to say is that if it happens the first time, make sure you report it so that you have a record of it. Because if you don't report it now it happens the second time, I won't believe you.
Yes.
Me, I have done it. I have reported my issue. Because you have to report it. So one report here, because the crime is serious.
And a lawyer can be say, or report to her. Now, both so who now we didn't ask be that we busuan for that so withdraw case no. Or withdraw one lawyer say.
That's your business. Someone be that will be not support no be because as the be say yes I be one make say one out two jam one out say show. To say what the home now you say this.
Enya sa na me pese me kire enya sa na lawyer pese o kire. Lawyer say so we report to her on say o report to her. Ebi abusuafo beka so go and withdraw it, don't press any charges. Yes. Blah 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 because omo empese bibi besin to report o ko withdraw na san ko biomu a eya na omo busa sa den na wunimu se bibisa na first one no o ba be withdraw it.
If I show me cho
ekuya bye eye ya pon
mami pa cho one more ma se ma okay me kaso ba ko pena minjao. Oh, report as okay. In me case I can say, maybe the police be mu report ni ade. But maybe papa didn't say sini mu no catch or no papa on the family say. Mama yan training ya didn't refi. Na ya de yan ka say yan kan. So yan ka say yan tinase na yan kan. And I on the family say mummy enjoy na police for heading.
Enka.
Enyo medjuma. Because they thought and they believe say me masema make canon.
Who chapter?
Because I don't know the report.
Okay. Matthias, na chese no. Omunu epe report to the akoyen krata.
Exactly, mommy, because I don't know ni niema. Intercourse of baba sasa me na ma abuse no defending domestically. That's the question no so the acquired them. Akwa kwajine
na muniba. Auntie said yeah, and who here so begina domestic ne so betimi agina nkora ne so de agene nkrata.
And mommy, do you know say Kroma so we domestic violence nkora ma say ukra no nkora no ahwe pe ma wo hwe.
Oh yes, so onu difu
especially when you do it in front of the children, when the children are actually present.
Yes.
And your case is worse. When
you ekuya wate nyame nhira frɛ me ne nkasa why.
Mommy me that.
Etiefo meda wo bibiara say mesremo obi amfre lawyer BB or say as a skilled worker have baby born here. It's if Italian indefinite is the baby British or not. I didn't get your English. As a skilled worker have baby born here. Ghana ye brofo. If Italian indefinite is the baby's British or not, I don't get it too. And now BB person what should I say? So what as a skilled worker ha na akrani papa ye Italian na akrani ye British and na say onye if Italian indefinite. Okay, so say if Italian indefinite is saying okra Italian passport but owo indefinite we kro mi ha. Sana peso chire. So we indefinite we kro mi ha dia watena ha 5 years dia. And sana wo gini indefinite no. So wo gini indefinite na sana wo baby ni dia akra na British. But so wo baby no and sana wo be gini indefinite ni dia akra na indefinite akra na British obekura papa ni indefinite ni bi. And sana no register to become a British. To any lawyer in casa. Why? Attain. Okay. So I'm not making so yeah okra Italian, but and I say okra indefinite leave to remain. So okra indefinite no ansa na wo akra ne dia akra ne automatic British. But so wo akra na ansa na obeji indefinite akra no enye British obeji ne indefinite ni bi. If she has an indefinite, then the child got British or indefinite. Why? It is same in Belgium. Intimate dabo nyina mas me pamocho obi an friend lawyer mesremo me pamocho me ade ye adwumo na muso mo tu ade free computer ho de akosha ha energy gon ti me pamocho obi an friend lawyer o friend na ubenya no waye ready oteho lawyer Frank ene ne Mascot ene ye adwuma omo office ewo eye Enfield into be patch o friend lawyer ne wo se wo kone officer obeka cho sebra office ona ono ntwetwen komo domestic violence me patch so ukunu oyere enye wo hwea enkonko report misrew na emum se wo bro abuses nyoma oye no ensania misrew wo de wo ntime report okra na o phone abra onu wo ye gegegege no use your phone to record it use it because if west come to west no ubetimi agina sa recordings na wo eye ne voice no e dey a fight for it intime pacho momfre eye lawyer na mne ne twetwe enkomo nyame adoma Friday ye beto aso ye ne lawyer e beto aso Saturday eya kwantu mu nsam echina eye ya wada ye dey a month of April eba na wiye April to be glorified April to be glorified April to be glorified April to be glorified ye dey bosumi eba na wiye echina nyame ye adomo a misro don't mix emergency hour echina eye emergency hour come and eat prayer come and drink prayer come and sra come and sra abuna skin pay me me bro me say brabe sra come and sra me man say sra where is sra unim sra enku hey come and eat prayer come and chop prayer come and sra bra besra enku besra prayer bra ni apaye no mapaye nwade apaye mompaye echina eye yagwada echina ye yawada emergency hour. Oh Lord, my case is emergency. Aware na wo te ho no yenye wa abontinim sa aware na ni je wo mu pa sister entena ho brother entena ho bra ne be bompaye bra ne be dia paye bra ne be no mapaye bra ne be dware apaye minima dia wo kom minimu ohaw ne amane atiti bia wo kom misrawo emergency hour ewurade na mo emergency hour adomoso edi adanse edi nkunimudie edi faawudie abankofo bebirabrabum enti mesrawo enne no first time awutie mi a ya wade bia anopa ya wade bia anopa 10:30 pepe UK time 10:30 na ye the emergency hour hwehwe so e with the same platform abandonment campaign outreach TV say ye be YouTube TikTok of mom pempaibo empaibo yo empaibo ye brane be bompaye be ye life insurance to abrabo so enti YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, Mubehu Prophet Greg. We Bremen Rade and Nam Nado so de was cerebral was raso. Up to Prophet Greg so. Waboni dina wa friend. Enunti okasa or suru enye jumaye. Okasa abofwo enye jumaye. Euradinam ne so eyen senchrene. Euradinam ne so ede ayarese to me to ni paso. Ewurade nam ne so e de awo obi awo pa awo waye IVF enyeye ewurade nam ne so Prophet Greg na obi nyimoye na okọ gynecologist okọ ne clinic na ne ese akora no ensuo ejina ne tirim enti owo akora na akora ne beye handicap wowo akora na akora no ensuo ejina akora ne tirim akora ne ntimi nante ontimi nwia akora ni ntimi ntenase enti akora no e wo se a flashy baby no ne de ne ko ye yi akra no ya abokti akra no sweet ye te sen me ba choma mo pe Prophet Greg number na mesra mo me kasa DM mo me sesi a me de be sende o e was say mon DM me e was say ye yi akra no because ye wo akra na maame wo be dwane free hospital where ja wo ba no maame sanye papa sanye maame ne se men san da ena ni kunu se san mintimi me hwa akra we you again in society a mom date a wo monko no momra again see de panie ekọ wo ne yefunu ekọ twen wo se akra ne hu fluid omo kọ twen ye omo kọ twen ba ye no omo se wo se yi akra tie ma wo mo date ya omo famra na yenyi akra no enti again ni kunu ba fie no ena again ne frɛ na danfo ena odi sun obi a wo mo penkrata ne nkoma yusu akra na ye nkrata pramak oba ni bi be ma ni bi oba ni bi be ma ni bi ento mani daso nyina ne se rade nyinsin abade apremak ye wie enti girl no frɛ na danfo edi sun me ka de awurade enam emergency hour Prophet Greg adomoso aye wa friend na danfo no esu de kire no e wo London how enye Germany de na ye hole in heart member ho obviously I remember Germany esu Germany we ye London ha na get ne friend na danfo no wo su na danfo no say hey 2 years ago 2 years or 3 years ago and again he say hey na wo emergency hour mpa wo me bobi and was the emergency one was unim sister na friend abena skin pain no e ya akone platform ni so ya wade bia ye ni sofu bi or the Prophet Greg media prophet we urade nam prophet we so aye e urade nam prophet we say adomoso aye mi wie program an mafro e urade nam na adomoso de waye de ama me mi kunu na mi kunu be ma nya adwuma mi kunu enne na me ka kiro asadamfo eye me top secret mi ni mi kunu to Ghana akoye bibiduro akogiduro emu besen mi kunu kura ase awe besen amane se ahye enso ya ye ni mu Prophet Greg da ye hu ne da ye ni hye ne so da emergency hour and the sister Abner campaign we program ya na okeka advert no one was say echina ya wada obi anwen emergency hour na me ba bie no na Prophet Greg adansidi enkofu di na prophet hira ensuo water wa na wokofa wunsuo ni obi na ekofa de abraw na prophet hira ensuo ni so eno se de obi ape bia won fanye enti ewie ye no ena me frɛ prophet na me se da misra minimoda mikunu say ena that is na wukunu no way ena os mikunu kwa adwuma ena os wukunu no ginya medi woni musanya mi betumi aye amana boroso ena os anda ye chini sa anti ono kra de sese de onye nneoma bi ani yakọ Ghana yakọ yewe abibiduro besi wawe besi ama sese de sinyina ahye ena os se no abibiduro na akọye no see ya kwa bibidro ya yewe and that is a wukunu ba mon frère me se ogidia only if you believe because Bible say se wo ogidie kitwe bi it is a snappy that's mustard seed snappy aba obeka kire people say hey people tutu kogupum e people betutu e de akogupum ba sa wonyi ni sanya me betumi aye de a enye sa wo so wachini a na enye ya na sa wachini a na enye ye no ntina da bia me ka kire wo se wanante e bia obeka se asofo obinom sebi empanyufo obinom experience ya wo wanye ntino sofo bia anye papa you are doing yourself big harm because enye obi a na enye papa enti se wo begie dia nyame e wo ho kwan so obesa ne yare enti ensuo na ye hira so no wo bi sister ne san ma da me wonsuo en oso okay wo kunu fradwuma ba mo mfrɛ me ne kunu fradwuma ba ye na dade se me twa fasting ama dade de wo bo mpai bo odi apaye wi apaye no mapaye en na wo se ye be ye akwankyere en o twa fasting ma woni ne mienu na ayo enye wo nko a mo mienu na mo ye se fasting no wa anye o mix wo be san ye en wo se ye di nsuo ne e bo mpai gu so ne be ye almost started wo mo fasting no just one day now wo mo start ye no osoro kasai na nyame pese approve ne ho e de kire bra ne se 190 ache but nyame wotumi wo se matena subra yi ho ache emfie aduasa nwotwenie odomfo se waba betomia papa mensa me ho nko wo se matese nioma a wo ye ni titibre mu no bebre so gusu a wo da so a wo ye enioma na oye ni titibre mu no ensenkyere ni akese na wo ye no bebre na ena sa abre wo gusu a wo ye onimo prophet Greg da afedi sister say me kunu be me na apagagina de yi mui wo tibidi anopa no tibie de awia no tibie de anadwo omo se da bi ade de bi o e bi one day show yen hwa de ti first day no man kan kire dade wo motena ho ye fasting ni wie ye 2 weeks 3 weeks bosome en was ye was me bo Sophia mane daddy wo beje ye sen en was hey e de ba de da bi o die nyame aye no bra ne bedi ho adanse lady ne bedi adanse na o di video na to ekwem say ne testimony enti lady no eka kire na danfo ne se me de awurade nam prophet Greg so ayama me no sister eni adanse a awurade nam prophet we so ye no bra be join emergency awa and no joy or the prophet number man no more or ni kunu ni nyina afre prophet they were so down and a prophet is a wujidi say nyame betumi aye doctors say akora no ensuo gina ni tirim nyame annam na adom so ama wo bi a doctors so wo kidney ba akopɛ the same ensuo ni bi ne gina akora ni tirim na o wo kidney ba akon awurade na emergency awaso ema akora ni kidney ye mienu ema ensuo dry enti se wugidi a osoro be kasa wo be wo afa wo afa wo ba ena akora nem so 3 years as 2.5 years abra wo mu date ne so ya ye kwa flash baby no e wo so mo san ye ne scan enye wo ko ya na ye koye agu omo koye scan no mo say no what is this akora no is forming very well ensuo na ejina na adwene mu ni nyina a dry de wonyame wotumi eye no no wo je ne nioma nyina ma ne ye fefefefefefefe odifo ne de wo kasa osoro eni adwuma eye enti jai kasa no wate sister na abebre wo de no me be ma ho brother jai kasa no na de no me be ma ho wo experience a wanya wa asofo mu no eno nkire wo sasa na asofo nyina ate enti wan hweye no me ebeba wo ne wasefo so no you can't bear it oti wanuama nkoye ma wo emfa nkoshe wo maame so maame e beifo emfa nkoshe wo papa yere se me maame kora eye wano e na akofa kade abram because you don't trust asofo die sofu bi ada na di ene social media ba ene na sofu gina ho na sofu di atem sofu di sabi twas ni twem enti no wonim se sa na sofu bi ade asofo yese me pacho de bi experience a why experience ne dada no twem obi be ka kire wo se obi a owo social media bi anye papa abnes kimpe I exempt myself yes because ewurade anam abnes kimpe adom so eden kofo aba abruchire free of charge obi ani wo betimi abaka sem se abnes kimpe aboa me ama mewure krom a waje me 1 pound mi wo kromi ha abnes kimpe aboa me ama menya nkrata ama menya adwuma ama menya baabi dimiti ato abnes kimpe akọ guarantee ede ne bank statement ne passport akoto enye Ghana passport. I hold British passport. Akoto amama wo. Last week obi anya kidney ansa na be treat nipa no. Em say Monday me ba na me ka ho asem. Me gina ho minimum ne da a guarantee. Ama ye man treatment. Enti nye wo bia owo social media. Na nye wo bia Ghana ni bia na enye papa. Enti untimi meka se Ghana for ana asofo enye. Enti me nkwa asori he me mo bi na ada. Me ma wo bi e na ada wo. Enti china emergency hour join ni bi na ye mompaye ni apaye. O pa asori nso akwa. Na wuni baby kwa asori a. Me de bia meka kire wo se pa asori ko. You hear me? Pa asori pe Bible believing church eko. Asori ewurade na basa ewo so. Asori ewurade ni 2 million ne wosra na adom na nimunyam edaso. Undiluted word of God and you preach wo ho. Okwa asori a utie nyame asem no eye etna wo mu na ye omu adwuma. Asem na ye ne nkofo se flames of faith di adansidie testimonies eye asem no. Oba asori a fa hye wa adwene mu. The whole of Easter ya na ye. Obi free eye Holland or say Belgium ebe bookie hotel ne ne ma. Why? Eba Easter convention. Why? Because when the prophet Greg etiache na woni mu de awurade nam prophet Greg adomo so eya adanse die wono no prophet kura ye won aye won abrabom eni patre enya cancer awurade nam na adomo so Easter convention ye untie the tie awurade enam na adomo so asane wo mo eya asem no, that's the word. Asem na tena yemu wo ba flames of faith a kwasiada bia ye food for the soul and the spirit servant. Ye food for the soul and the spirit service. Enti kwasiada no or the undiluted word of God emaye. Enti mo say asem na no wo yare kura na asem ne wo wuo eyi yare asem ne de anansidie ba won krata na ache ne beba e de aware beba waware na jija efie nye ukunu e de wo ba ba fie we colors blue green awurade mane sesa asem no e ya asem ne keke asem no enti mesra bra betwro wudin wo flames of faith wonni asori kwa baabi a wo pa asori ko na emomu no wo landing na wo pese wo betwro wudin wo flames of faith apart from spiritual aspects wo pa asori a eye family odo e wana abena skin pay me kwa asori asori a wo ba you full welcome you full at home eye flames of faith ba ko pe fa wani chire kwasi ada bia 1 o'clock awia 1 o'clock awia fa wani chire eye South London Elephant and Castle udru Elephant and Castle busa akra kete se wo pe Keddington underground for bus for train ebesi Keddington underground from Elephant and Castle back Keddington a 10 minutes walking who nantia over trainer a 2 stops a 1 stop 2 minutes per from Elephant and Castle a 1 stop a 2 minutes fabra besi Keddington usi Keddington a wenimu straight say no usi a wenim ubehu off license and akos kata fenimu immediate turn left and abehu praying ground in so na sorry ne ho ne wo ye start ya sorry 1 o'clock enti wo ko 90 abrabeda kakra wo sorry etumirika wo outside London cry ye start 1 make your journey early enti flames of it in Kofo free outside London ba sorry and Kofo free outside London e ba sorry enti simuntem 1 day obeba beto yen na ye nyina ye mumu sorry awurade ye nyina ye mpege awurade franka Tuesdays a redemption hour pray until something happen enra na ye mind blowing awurade pega nensa awurade atom ye kese enwosra ye kese heavens rejoice Tuesdays a redemption hour a ye wogie mre eye fa hodie mre bra ne beje wadansidie bra ne beji wo nkunimdie bra ne bebom paye eye life insurance eto wabrabo so men kan jira me se ma abona skin pay me de mi wo kunu me wo yere me wo ma me wo nkrata he me wo sika wo wo bibia, but there's one thing you need. One thing you need. You need life to enjoy all these things that you are acquired for. We urade abasa. We urade bambo. And toso. Nefe ni die enwie peye. Enti ebena de bia ye numera nonson. Ebena de bia. Numera nonson. Ena ye nyina ye hiem e wo the same place. Eye number 1 Opal Street, Padless Acre Hall, London, Kennington. XC114 Hazet. Ebena de bia eye numera nonson. Ebena dam kai body obi etimi bebo bi eye frefre kobo. Wo ye wo sofo otimi ba. Wo ye kremo otimi ba. Obi ya timi bebo bi. Ehwo na wo ba. Wo do prayer request beba. Awari a wo do ring beba. Oba won family prophet o ekura wo ehya wade mu ne kura wo awo a wo tonkura entade ni ehya mu ne kura wo prayer request opa de betu tistop ewurade kasa wate ewurade bremu wate ewurade kasa wono de ogina punu na chi wo bom sa wo be bie ne nko ade a obebem no ne wato nsa edidi mera mo se ekire nyame ya adoma mehia mo ewo eye emergency hour anopa 10:30 ma mo pe prophet Greg number no mo ma menke kan kire mo na menko me ma mo cho prophet Greg number is 0788 0789 0788 079 0345 07 prophet Greg mama busa ne number no obetimi e de mo me ana make kan kire mo 0788 07 50345 and yet 9 0788 07 50 555 enti me pa cho betimi afre prophet Greg ana say wodi emo me de number me ma everybody nhira mo ma bai nyame ya no me china yebihia pa cho mo frɛ lawyer Frank why or receive course.
My Lords, in my limited time, I will today only speak to Clause 9 of the Bill, the clause that seeks to strip British citizens of their citizenship without notice. I want to focus on the real-life impact of this proposed legislation, the consequences for communities, and unpick the notion that citizenship is a privilege, not a right. Modern nationality law starts in 1981, and for all its shortcomings, it was an attempt to bring into the system, through formal paperwork, those that were British. Let me repeat, those that were by right British. The state was formalising a right that already existed, something expressly stated by the then Home Secretary William Whitelaw during the passage of the bill. However, what followed with subsequent changes to nationality law and an increasingly hostile approach by successive governments of all colours was the appalling circumstances in which the Windrush generation and others, people who by right were British, were treated like outsiders, foreigners and aliens. Our hostility to immigration and immigrants was the climate in which we abandoned our own, who were by right British, even if they hadn't formally exercised that right. I lay out this background because this notion of citizenship being a privilege seems to be a popular but sadly ignorant mantra. Of course, immigration is not a right, but immigration and immigration controls are very distinct to nationality rights, and those that mix them do so because their flawed understanding does not see beyond the colour of someone's skin. Let me personalise it. My family, as many of yours, was a century ago citizens of the UK and colonies. They had rights. All those in the Empire and the Commonwealth did. When my grandfathers fought for the British Indian Army as British subjects, they did so as citizens. When the Windrush generation answered the call for workers and came to this country, they did so as citizens. When South Asians took up gruelling jobs in the mills and foundries of Yorkshire, as my family did, they did so as citizens, as equal members of this country, a continuation of a bond that started decades earlier. It wasn't a conditional right or a temporary right or a right that we would try and take away from them and their children or their grandchildren in ever more cunningly creative ways, and it certainly wasn't a privilege. It was a right, one established through our colonial history, strife and blood and sweat, and even with those that gave life. By formally taking a British passport, they were merely formalising a right, not being bestowed a privilege. Sadly, the othering of our fellow citizens, which has happened over the years under Conservative governments, made worse, I would argue, by Labour governments with some of the most dramatically expanded powers of deprivation, and extended by the coalition government, this chipping away at this basic right of citizenship must now stop. And that starts with striking Clause 9 from this bill. We across this House, whichever party we belong to, have been part of the problem. Our respective parties have over time torn down that basic belief that all citizens in this country are and should be equal, and that as a citizen you are a permanent member, a fundamental recognised in case law, including in the High Court in D4, the case that has led to Clause 9. This problem, my lords, did not start with Clause 9, but it must start to end with Clause 9. This government's sleight of hand, this last-minute addition to override the decision of Mr. Justice Chamberlain, an attempt at another incremental change with the hope that once again no one will notice, but with huge real-life consequences, this power grab by the Home Secretary is deeply dangerous. One that seeks to deprive someone of their right to citizenship without even giving the person being deprived the right to know, depriving them even of the right to check whether the Secretary of State had the legal basis or accurate facts to exercise that power. My lords, these proposals would mean that I would have greater protections when being deprived of my driving licence than of my nationality. And so a piece of legislation introduced but never used by the late Lady Thatcher's government during the Cold War to deal with treason has morphed, mainly during the Blair years, as an attempt to remove one man, Abu Hamza. And my noble friend Lord Moylan is absolutely right. Labour sowed the seeds of what we now reap, which is a catch-all law that covers around 40% of our ethnic minority communities. This clause is not a debate about immigration, it's a debate about our fellow citizens. These laws have the potential to include members of Parliament, their families, it includes our loved ones, our friends, our colleagues, it includes some of us. This is not scaremongering, this is fact. And this is why families across our country are campaigning to push back against the real-life consequences they are today experiencing as a result of years of incremental legislation. So in conclusion, my lords, my parents' generation, now in their 80s, always feared that their future generations would be outsiders, second-class citizens, that they would be told to go back home, told to leave. My generation always dismissed these fears as unfounded. Windrush, my lords, proved that these fears were not baseless. Clause 9 and the government's exponential use of deprivation powers compounds these fears. So I urge my noble friend, who is thoughtful and informed on these issues, to ask the government to think again and row back.